So this is the first time I ever had to use Spark Notes for a movie. Much Ado About Nothing is Joss Whedon, director of the Avengers, creator of such TV shows as Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Firefly. It's his passion project, which he made kind of in between or after shooting the Avengers, and it's an adaptation of the Shakespeare play Much Ado About Nothing. And I had never read the play before or seen any kind of production of it. This was my completely first time seeing the story. And what's really, really interesting about this film is that it's set in modern times, but the script is verbatim the Shakespeare play. So I think he might have abridged it a bit. I read that, but basically it's these actors playing Shakespeare and doing Shakespeare, kind of like a stage play, but not. I really thought that was such a really original idea, and he executes it really well. The only problem I had with that was the fact that Shakespeare and Shakespearean language is not the easiest to follow for me, and watching the film, I was lost, I'll admit, quite a few times, just because they spoke so fast, as if anyone could just follow along, and I wasn't always following along because I don't know Shakespearean language that well. But for the most part, I was able to understand what was happening, and other than, a few mind wanderings that I had, I did really like the film. I'm really impressed by the fact that he filmed it in like 12 days. That fact is kind of interesting to know, and the actors are all so great. It's no one that I know too well because they're all previous actors of Joss Whedon's work, so people from his TV series, which I've never really watched, and people from his movies. So I know Clark Gregg, who was in the Avengers, and he's in 500 Days of Summer, and he actually has a lot of smaller roles and stuff. He's a really great actor. He plays Leonardo, who is the governor of Messina, the town that this movie takes place, or the play. And then there's Amy Acker, who plays Beatrice, and she's really, really great in this role, and everyone was so impressive in their delivery of Shakespeare, which is, not the easiest thing to perform all the time, and especially when he's kind of bending the setting and everything. But the film, Much Ado About Nothing, it's good and it's clever, and it plays on the fact that it's Shakespeare but in that modern setting, so just really weird to hear them talking this such old language, and it's also in black and white, so that really also adds to that feel. But then there's, the use of iPods and cell phones and just really kind of just playing with the setting of it, which was really clever. And all the party scenes in this film are just so cool and classy, and I just wanted to be at the parties. And the music is really great in the film. It was just unlike any other film I've really ever seen before. It's funny, it has a lot of really funny moments, but overall, the story, Much Ado About Nothing, and the play, I wouldn't call it anything that groundbreaking from Shakespeare. I mean, the actual story of it, it's kind of strange, and I had a hard time following the story a little bit because certain things didn't make sense to me, and then after, when I went on Spark Notes just now to read up a little bit about it, apparently, because basically it's these people who've just been in a war coming to visit the governor, Leonardo, who's played by Clark Gregg, and one of these men instantly falls in love with his daughter named Hero, and they plan to get married. And then there's this other character, Don John, who just kind of wants to stop them from getting married. And it's never revealed why he wants to stop them, and I had a hard time understanding why he was trying to cause havoc in the first place. And then when I went on Spark Notes, I read that this character, Don John, is kind of notoriously the most underdeveloped Shakespearean character, so he doesn't really have a motivation even in the play. I guess you could keep reading deeper into it, but on the surface you don't really see why he's trying to even cause this trouble in the first place. So that was a bit confusing to me, but now I know it's just, the play itself. But it's funny, and it's kind of cute in certain ways, and the execution of it is what's really impressive, and I really like the way that Joss Whedon took this play and gave it this modern setting and kind of put it out there for audiences to watch, because who else would really be watching this play otherwise? I don't know if it's really commonly adapted. But the story itself is just a bit strange and not my favorite Shakespearean story. I feel like Shakespeare clearly has better works, and that's why those other works are more prominent in schools and just more popular in general. It's because Much Ado About Nothing doesn't offer that much, I guess, in a story. But it's funny, and it's one of his comedies, and it's worth watching just for the way that Joss Whedon does it. So I'm giving the film a 7 out of 10. And it's not playing very many places, but if you ever get a chance to watch it, it's pretty clever and interesting. And yeah, that's it. If you've seen the film or whatever, just please comment below. I'd love to talk to you about it. I'm Adriana with my blog, Fresh from the Theater. And if you like what you see, please subscribe. Thanks so much.